begin at them. My name is Ursha, a 10th grade admission San Jose High School, and I've qualified for USAJ, but I'm here to impart my knowledge on math on you guys. Why learn math? Well, a very famous man named Simon once said, "A man who knows enough math never has to worry about money." Why? Because math shows up absolutely everywhere. In the phones that you have, to the algorithms that run our city, to the way traffic lights work, to the way light works itself, and how you're watching this video is all determined by math and science. Now, how does one get into math at a high college level or at a professional level? One common pathway is through math competitions, which I'll be demonstrating with you. Why do math competitions? Well, they teach you three main things. One, they help with analytical thinking. A person who's able to do math is able to use this knowledge through a variety of other means. What does this mean? This means that when you approach a problem, you have the analytical background. I myself, when I do other activities like debate or sports, view things through the lens of a math background through key problem-solving tips, which help me be more efficient at other things in my life. Two, college applications. College is a huge thing on all of our high school minds, as well as elementary schoolers in a few years. Math competitions help a lot with college applications, which I will demonstrate later on. And three, the friendly community you build along the way. Some of my closest friends are people who I've met through math competitions and exercising more in that fashion. Now, starting off for our elementary and middle schoolers, here's the math competitions that you guys can go ahead and start off with. Number one, Math Kangaroo. Math Kangaroo is a very fun sort of introductory way to get into math. You get to go there, it's quite easy, you get a bunch of free merch, shirts, pencils. I personally have used a Math Kangaroo ruler for like the last 6 years for pretty much everything. It's a very great introductory way. Now, if some of you guys know some math centers near you, you guys can take Noetic Learning Math Contest. This is also very similar. And another one in this fashion is Continental Math League. Now, these two are usually 6 questions and you take the one test every single month. And the aggregated scores are used to determine a school's ranking, which is just really fun. You get to go ahead and compete math and help out your local school. Next, we have Math League. Math League is a very nice system in which you go there, pretty much your entire weekends you get to be over there for like a full day, and you get to go ahead and take a myriad of tests. You have the sprint test, you have the target test, and you have the team test. Now the sprint test is an hour-long, 25 questions. You just go at it, you sprint. You usually don't have enough time to solve the problems, but you want to get to as many as you can. Next, you have the target test. Target test, for every 2 questions, you get 6 minutes to solve. There's 4 rounds of that. You get an aggregate your score, and then you get to have a team test as well, in which you work with 3 other members from your school. And then at the very end, there's a very nice award ceremony in which all your scores are added together, and the top ones get to go into another bracket. They get to go to districts and states and nationals. It's a very fun experience. After that, we have Math Olympiad for elementary and middle schoolers, which is very similar to CML, as well as the Russian School of Math International Contest. I'll tell more about the Russian School of Math later on, but they host a math contest in which they go ahead and take people from all of their different branches. You get to go and compete and see where you stand internationally. After that, we have Math Counts. Math Counts is a team-based event, very similar to Math League, but it's much more team-reliant. The exact same system goes through, except Math Counts is considered to be a bit more professional. The big bad boy of math competitions is the American Math Competition. Before we start, let's preface a bit. Why do we want to take these? Well, the IMO is a very distinguished event. It's called the International Mathematics Olympiad, and you can imagine this is the Olympics for mathematics. Every single year, countries all over send their best of the best, the 6 best people that their country can produce, and they duke it out in a math competition and try to figure out which country reigns supreme. This is the ultimate honor that you can have as a high schooler to attend the International Mathematics Olympiad. Now, how does the US go ahead and select the team that they want to send to the IMO? Well, you start off at the American Mathematics Competitions. There's 3 of them, the AMC 8, 10, 12. The numbers simply mean what grade you can be to compete up to. For example, 7th graders can take the AMC 8, 10, and 12, but 9th graders can only take the 10 and 12. Now, the AMC 8 is an hour and 15 long competition in which you solve 25 problems and you get to aggregate your score. Now, this test doesn't really lead to anything else. There's nothing upstream compared to the AMC 10 and the AMC 12. Now, AMC 10 and AMC 12 are both an hour and 15 long, 25 questions, but the difference is their scoring system. For every question you get right, you get 6 points. Every question you get wrong, you lose a point and a half, and every question you skip, you get 0 points for. Now, these contests are out of 150 points each. If you do well enough on these tests, you get to go ahead and take the AIME. The AIME is American Invitational Mathematics Examination. This is a 15-question, 3-hour-long contest in which you go ahead and solve 15 difficult questions, and then using your score, you multiply that by 10, then you add that to A, your AMC 10 score, and B, your AMC 12 score. Now, let's take an example. Say you got 143 points on the AMC 10, and you got 14 on the AIME. You go ahead and do 143 plus 14 times 10, you get 283, and that is going to be your index. Your index is used to evaluate whether you get into USAJMO or USAMO. What that means is with your AMC 10 index, you qualify for USAJMO, and with your AMC 12 index, you qualify for USAMO. Now, USAJMO and USAMO are a very different breed of competition. These are what you call proof-based competitions, and they're sort of the next level in math competitions. In these questions, you're given 3 questions each day for a set of 2 days, and you get 6 hours to solve 3 questions every day. This means the questions are very hard, right? Yes, they are incredibly hard. And when you go ahead and solve these questions, you are then competed against the other people who are taking the USAJMO and the USAMO for the honor to get into the Mathematics Olympiad program, MOP at Carnegie Mellon University, taught last year by Po Shen Lo, but this year by Evan Chen. These are going to be very common names you'll hear when you go ahead and work more in this field. Now, why would you want to take the USAMO over the USAJMO? Well, the reason is 24 people from USAMO get to go to MOP, while only 12 people from USAJMO get to go to MOP. Additionally, the 12 best girls from both USAJMO and USAMO get to go to the pink team in MOP. Now, there's different teams that I'm mentioning over here. There's going to be the black team, blue team, green team, and pink team. The pink team is strictly for girls. The green team is from USAJMO, and the black and blue teams are from USAMO, respectively. Now, over the course of a month, and pretty much your entire summer because of how time-consuming it is, every single week, these students get to learn from the best of the best at math. And every week, they go through something called the TSTST, the Team Selection Test. This test is used to determine whether you get to stay in the program or not, and each week, people are cut out of the bracket. At the end of the month, if you get to go ahead and you stay there, you get to take the team selection test. This team selection test determines whether you get to go to the IMO or the EGMO. The EGMO is the European Girls Math Olympiad, which is strictly for girls, and the IMO, we all mentioned, is the best of the best. Now, you qualify, great. What are the benefits of qualifying for these? Well, the way my teacher taught me, Mr. Manish from Random Math, is if you go in against the AIME, that's better than playing a varsity sport in high school. You get into USAJMO, that's even better, and if you get into MOP or IMO, you're basically guaranteed to get into whatever college you want, in whatever major you want, because you're simply that good. Now, let's go ahead and go on something which is more for high schoolers, though middle schoolers can participate as well. These are college math competitions, and these math competitions are hosted by colleges across the United States, but I'll just talk about the ones in California for now, and these ones are slightly different from the ones that happen at the elementary level. The reason why is because these are a lot more team-based. They still have very similar rounds, but the questions are significantly harder. You have the Berkeley Math Tournament, you have the Stanford Math Tournament, you have the Harvard Math Tournament, and you have the Carnegie Mellon Information Analytics and Mathematics Competition. Some of these have a mini version as well, which is for middle schoolers, but most of these are exclusively high school based. Now, going on to how you're supposed to prepare for the exam. I'm going to go ahead and assume that the intended audience of this is mostly people who haven't gotten to AIME or USAJMO or the like. So let me explain to you guys how you want to go ahead and get started. First of all, there's 3 main ways you can go about this. Books, tutoring, but most importantly, you just have to practice. You have to put the hours in. There's no better way to learn math than simply do more problems. The best way to learn the fundamentals of math competitions is through the Art of Problem Solving books. There's 4 of them. Introduction to Probability and Counting, Introduction to Number Theory, Introduction to Algebra, and Introduction to Geometry. I highly recommend that you go through all of these books, you go through all of the problems, the challenge problems, and the end goal of these. You might say they're a bit thick, but your end goal is going to be able to finish one book within 3 hours. Finish every single problem in that book within 3 hours, and that's how you'll know you'll be extremely prepared to go ahead and tackle on the AMC 10 and AMC 12. If you can finish every book within 3 hours of the introduction series, I guarantee you that you're going to get into AME no breeze, no questions asked whatsoever. Now, sometimes when you go ahead and take these problems, you'll get stuck. You won't know how to solve them. What do you do then? Well, there's a variety of great YouTube channels online which you can go to and search up these questions. They give a very in-depth, great explanation on how to solve every single one of these, which I highly recommend you take a look at. Now, after you're done with that, you also have the intermediate set as well. When you go ahead and do math, you'll realize that you're going to be more inclined towards certain subjects over another. I personally quite like algebra and geometry, and probability and counting is not my favorite. What does this mean? This means I find myself to be a little bit better at probability and algebra than other things. So I go ahead and do the intermediate books as well. Now these intermediate books give you the next level. They give it sort of a cherry on top. You do these as well, you'll do wonderful. But the jump from AME to USAMO is a very big jump. I won't lie. So what do? What you do is you go ahead and do a lot of practice tests. Not just practice tests, but also tests from past years. All of the tests for AMC, AME, USAGMO, MOP, IMO, EGMO, all these acronyms I'm throwing up, they're all online on certain websites, which I can't recall off the top of my head right now. But you go ahead and give a quick little Google search, you'll find them all, and just do problems. I can't stress enough. Do problems, do books, put the hours in. You'll see a couple other books up there. Those are also great to take a look at. Now, when you will work through these books, you'll also find that sometimes you need an additional boost. This is where tutoring comes in. Now, for tutoring, there's a couple of ways you can go to. I suggest that you start off by going to a place. If your maths at school is a little bit difficult for you, you should go to Russian School of Mathematics. This will give you a great foundation, not just for school, but also for math competitions. Once you find that RSM it gets a little bit easy for you, you can go ahead and tackle. You have Art of Problem Solving, AlphaStar, and Random Math as the three big ones here in California. I personally go to Random Math, so I'm a little bit biased in their favor, but all of these provide a great way of going ahead and learning math and learning competitive math from people who have done it before. Most of the coaches of these are people who have gone through this entire trial yet, have qualified for USAGMO, USAMO, MOP, maybe even IMO, and they're there to teach you, as well as coaches who have experience of teaching people who've gone through this. They have a system. I highly recommend, if you want to take the next step, to join one of these. Now after this, there's two others that you'll see up here. You have Euler Circle and private tutoring. I'll go ahead and talk about Euler Circle first. Euler Circle teaches a little bit more about real math. What do I mean by real math? When you do competitive math, you'll see that the goal of competitive math is to solve questions fast and with tricks. So this leads to you getting a rather surface level understanding of what's going on rather than doing actual mathematics research, which is what people do in the field. The mathematics you need in order to create a neural network or an algorithm from scratch is very different from the mathematics you need to go ahead and do well at a competitive level. Euler Circle is a great way in which you can learn what real people are doing in research, and it's taught by Simon, who I mentioned at the very beginning. Awesome guy, awesome man. I hope you get to meet him someday. After that, you have private tutoring. Now, private tutors I'd recommend if you want to go ahead and learn very deeply about one particular subject. For example, people may be very good at algebra, geometry, or you may want to learn intrinsically. But I stress again and again, there's no substitute for just plain old good hard work. You can have the best tutor in the world. If you don't put the effort in, you'll never be able to do the best. But if you put the effort in, I promise you, math is very rewarding and you'll get addicted to it. It's genuinely extremely fun. Thank you guys for spending so much time with me, and I hope you guys join a local AMC 8, AMC 10, 12 math league, math counts, whatever near you. Just give it a shot. You won't regret it. Thank you. And free merch.